Hello, welcome back friends to Press Start Living, a channel dedicated to bringing you all things Asian and to immerse you in cultural traditions and fascinations from around Asia. Today we fly to Asia's international city, the fragrant harbour of Hong Kong, to visit the world's famous temple. Man Mo Temple is one of Hong Kong's most fascinating historical spots, and its name, Man Mo, or in Cantonese, Man Mo Temple, has a special meaning, where Man or Man stands for civil and Mo stands for martial. In this two-part mini-series, I will share with you cultural insights and customs about how to make wishes to the Chinese gods and have your wishes come true, and to hopefully be helped by the gods just like they helped me all these years. Stay tuned for the second part of this mini-series coming to this channel at some time soon. So first, I want to share my personal rags to riches tale, as promised in the title of the video. And I also have a personal story to share. Did Man Mo Temple really play a role in my own success? My rags to riches tale? Well, let me just share that with you now, and you can make up your mind for yourself. Long time ago, when I was just finishing university, I was in Australia, and the whole place was in recession. The job market was tough, there were no jobs. I had to relocate in order to find some work somewhere. And so the decision was, instead of staying in Australia, I would move to Hong Kong. And it took a while. I only had 43,000 Hong Kong dollars with me as a total life savings. I managed to find a job in some high-rise building in Hong Kong. And it was secure, but I had to learn the ropes because I was a fresh graduate. I did this for a few years and I blended into the city. I didn't feel like I was making an impact on anything. It wasn't particularly meaningful work. And then one day a local came up to me and said, "Have you ever been to Man Mo Temple? It's quite famous. You can go and make a wish there. You know, I think lots of success stories from there. It can help you." I listened to this person, and he was a colleague, but I wasn't the religious type. And to be honest, I still am not. And so I was a bit skeptical of going there. After a while, I got sick, fairly serious illness. And so I was feeling desperate, and I thought, maybe now is the time to go and have a look at Man Mo Temple and to see if, you know, I have nothing to lose. I can go and have a go and try my luck. So I started going there regularly, monthly. All I did was offer incense and to just kneel down at the altar and to talk to the gods and to ask questions. I started making goals with them. I said, you know, if by the next time I come back, I would have certain things achieved. And it felt good to talk to the gods like that because I felt like they were listening. Then things started to happen, you know, things started to change. I met my wife. Success became easier. I started to see the ways of how things were to become successful. And I started a family with my wife. Ever since I'd been to the temple, everything was just on the up and up. And I couldn't believe it. And so, what do you think? Was it a coincidence? Or is it that, you know, Man Mo Temple is this incredible entity that can influence people's lives? For myself, I really do believe that Man Mo Temple has a power and has, you know, a place in everybody's hearts, no matter what denomination you're from, because these temples don't discriminate from which religion you have or whether you have a religion already or not. All they really, you know, ask of you is to show respect and to, you know, if you'd like to make a wish, you can go and make a wish. I want to talk to you about the significance of Man Mo Temple because in Hong Kong, it's one of the oldest temples there is. Man Mo Temple is a fascinating historical spot. The temple has an international appeal because Man Mo Temple is worshipped by locals, but also by tourists alike. And the temple is has an incredible following internationally. For example, you'll find, if you just go to the temple and stand outside for a little while, you'll see that there are people and visitors coming from China, from Japan, from Thailand, from Western countries like the USA or Europe, and they come in droves every year. And so I want to take you on a deep dive into the temple's influence over people of Hong Kong. So this video is a deep dive into Manmo Temple in Central in Hong Kong, as well as me sharing my rags to riches tale. Manmo Temple isn't just an old temple, but it's a vibrant piece of history nestled in Hollywood Road, which is part of the Central District in Hong Kong. The beautiful temple pays homage to two revered figures, the King Emperor Man Chang, a god of literature and bureaucracy. You can think of him as a god who looks after everything to do with knowledge and learning. Okay? To locals in Hong Kong, he's a god of study, or the god of examination, or the god of knowledge acquisition. He helps people get children into famous schools, or gets young adults into famous universities. Manmo Temple, or King Emperor Man Chang, has the ability to help people become more clever. This is a firm belief of all locals in Hong Kong. So local parents even hold this temple in such a high regard that consider it a must-do to actually visit the temple and to request and to make a wish to help their children outperform their peers, get into a good school, and to continue getting high grades. That's right, it's a cutthroat world of primary, secondary and tertiary education in Hong Kong. Parents believe that these gods will help their kids outperform the competition. And in the end, education is not about performing or competing against other people, but more that it's about the personal learning and the personal journey that you go through. And so I think people's hearts are in the right place, but education is about becoming a different person from when you started. So anyway, how do you engage in the temple's traditions? So you want to be a part of the action, okay? I get that. So how can you be just like the locals? So firstly, this is a sacred place of worship. We have to tell you that the temple is open to all individuals of any denomination who wish to show their respect and who wish to make a wish, or to just come and have a look and to observe what's going on in the temple. So when you're visiting the temple, the most basic thing you can do after walking in, and besides just looking and watching what others do, is to worship. And you can do that by donating an exact change or exact fee to buy some joss sticks or incense at the counter. So you can buy a bag of small and thin joss sticks, or you can buy a bag of medium-sized joss sticks or incense, or you can buy a bag with like 3 large oversized ones to offer to the gods. The sizes don't actually have any meaning, but it's just that what you feel you want to offer to the gods. So joss sticks should be offered to the gods every time you visit the temple, no matter if you plan to just ask for some blessings for something you plan to do, or you're just popping in to say hi or to pay respects. It's good to show yourself in the temple to the gods often if you can, because it helps the gods recognize you and it helps them help you make your wishes come true. So funds given directly to the temple for the incense and for, there are donation boxes inside. They go to the operator and the controller of this temple, which is the Tung Hua Hospital Group in Hong Kong. Now, Tung Hua Hospital Group has over 100 years of history running hospitals, but also doing a lot of charitable actions. And this temple is under their remit. And so the donations and the costs incurred inside the temple don't go directly back to operating the temple, supporting various charitable activities that the Tung Hua Hospital Group does. And so it's definitely a very worthwhile thing to actually just go to this temple. Different temples in Hong Kong have different operators, so you'll feel that if you go to different temples, there might be a slightly different ambience when you walk in. So, but for at least this temple, it's definitely of a charitable nature. You know the basics of what to do when you get to a temple, but what about a deeper dive? Can we go get into the nitty-gritty? Like, what do locals do when they come to the temple? How do you worship at this temple? Well, here's a step-by-step process right now. The first thing to do is, if you're going to the temple for yourself, meaning if you're going to make a wish or just to say hi, then all you need to do is bring yourself and some change so that you can pay for the incense and the joss sticks. Or you could bring a friend with you as well. Now, if you're a parent and you're hoping to make a wish for your child, then bring your child. But if he or she cannot come, then you can pray on his or her behalf by bringing some of his belongings. Now, because this is a temple with gods of learning and gods of exams and gods of tests and gods of knowledge acquisition, you can bring some of the things that your child uses in order to achieve these goals. So for example, you could bring some of their learning tools like their pens, pencils, their pencil case, maybe some of their books, or even some of their exam scripts or mock exam scripts. Even their iPads that they use every day at school, or even their laptops. You can bring these, receive endorsement and blessings from the gods. So to bring luck to yourself and to your child, you can bring these items with you. You buy the joss sticks or the incense, and then you light them and place them in the urns that you'll find positioned around the temple. Once you've placed the incense lit into the urns, you can then grab your items and raise them up above the incense that you have with your arms high, and then you can rotate these items around these incense, making 3 rings going in a clockwise direction, with your items spinning in a ring like parallel to the ground. Okay, and you do that 3 times, and that's a symbol of offering these things to the gods through the incense that are lit, and they will acknowledge that you are hoping to have these to be blessed and these to be objects that will bring you luck. So there are additional rituals for success as well, okay? Besides bringing objects in for praying like this, the Holy King Emperor Guan Gong, the warrior, he is a warrior, Guan Gong. So to him, you can pray for skills improvement. This god is also inside Menmo Temple. So Guan Gong is there, and for example, if you say want to get better at a craft, if you have some challenges or you have some difficulties with mastering a skill or mastering a craft or mastering a profession, Guan Gong is famous because he is a warrior and he is a master of his craft. And so praying to him means that it's symbolically gaining his assistance and his help to become the master of your craft. For example, you may want to become famous in your field for what it is that you do, or for anything that involves a skill, for example, singing, or you want to become a better actor, you want to become a better designer and to create great things. Could, for example, like before, bring your designs to seek blessings. For example, you could bring, you're a fashion designer, you could bring some of your creations in and then to get them endorsed and get them blessed by the gods through the process that I shared with you before. Maybe you want to your child wants to enter a STEM competition and they need to make some kind of science, technology, engineering and maths solution that is impressive. You could bring some of his, tools to bring it in and to get them endorsed. Photos of your projects could be just as good to bring in as well. Just like the locals, they know that Menmo Temple has this god and they will seek the god's help to improve their own performance or their child's performance. Some of the other very local things that Hong Kong people do in this temple include bringing celery, the vegetable, to Menmo Temple, because celery rhymes with industriousness, and bringing celery as an offering to the god will mean that you will embody this industrious spirit and you will be able to work harder and do better at your work. Another thing that they bring into the temple as worship items includes spring onions. That's right, spring onions, because spring onions in Chinese rhymes with intelligence. And so if you're seeking to improve your intelligence or your child's intelligence, then you can bring spring onions in as an offering. And finally, one more very secret and very local offering is you might see garlic on the altar of the temple. Garlic rhymes with mathematical calculation. And so, in basic primary and secondary education, we talk about language acquisition, mathematical acquisition, and general knowledge as well. So garlic rhymes with mathematical calculation. So that's another secret thing that people will bring in. And you can do the same as well. Okay, so now you know the ins and outs and the very secret and local ways of worshipping to Menmo Temple, and so consider using some of these methods. Menmo Temple also offers other ways to worship to the gods and also other ways to prolong your luck-bringing endorsement and luck-bringing blessing from the temple. They have paid services, which again are charitable in nature because the funding will go to charity or are directly used to operate the temple. So for example, there are lanterns and there are large coil incense that you can light up as part of a long-term luck bringing for you and your family. So for example, for a stronger effect, you can pay to have a lantern lit. So the lanterns we're talking about are like the size of a bottle of drinking water. These lanterns are hung inside the temple, and you can have the paid lantern so that you can receive the blessing that the long lit lantern provides to all of the people that it protects. For a stronger effect, you can pay for a lantern to be lit, bring your own pen, and to write on the red card that is provided to identify who you are. So your personal identity, name, address, but also write the wishes that you wish to come true. Generally in temples, you can wish for not only what Manmo Temple is famous for, but you can also wish for things like health and prosperity and good relationships. Now the staff will hang this lantern regularly for visitors who request lantern lighting. The cost is about 150 Hong Kong dollars, and they can be hung up for about a week or so. Now additionally, besides lanterns, we mentioned coil incense. You'll see in the video that there are some coil incense hanging near the ceiling of the temple. These may last for like days, which may cost about 180 Hong Kong, or they might last for a whole month, which costs about $600 Hong Kong. For more information about these, you can ask at the counter and they can give you directions on how to order one of these. However, as a local, you need to know this. This is the local knowledge that tourists and visitors may not understand. These big coils and lanterns are very hard to book. Many locals are on the wait list to try and secure one of these for themselves or for their children. If you intend to get one of these, you're in for a fight. They would be, for example, on the allocated days of the month when these lanterns and coil incense are open to the public. There might be a queue outside the temple as early as 3 a.m. 3 in the morning. People will wake up extra early to get in the queue to try and get one of these coils or lanterns. Right, so I hope that is an insightful look into worshipping at Manmo Temple. It's a wonderful and beautiful historical temple. It's just a sight to behold because inside you have the incense-filled air, the smoke, and you have people worshipping with so much respect for the gods and everything inside. I hope this video gives you a glimpse into the hidden secrets of worshipping. I will do more videos like this in the future, explaining how to worship at various temples in Hong Kong. But you know, these practices may apply to other Chinese temples that are in other countries too. Definitely of value to anybody living in Asia. Thank you for staying to the end. Please smash that subscribe and like button. I really appreciate any support, and you know, as a new YouTuber, I hope to entertain you with more in the future insights from Asia. The channel is looking for great stories and to create new videos, so if you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Check out some of my other videos here. You can click on the tabs, and also I hope to see you in the next one. Take care and goodbye.